So this is, hey everyone. I'm doing this way because I do not want to even deal with trying to edit or anything. And I really just wanted to come and talk about this book. So, as you know, I've been really trying to tailor my content around ADHD and my lived experience, things that would be helpful, and, coaching content that's going to help, content that's going to help you cope. And yes, I may be starting a fresh new channel for this, but for now, this material is going to go here. There's a really important book that I think that I don't care if you're a man or a woman. This was kind of written for women. However, um, this book has been really helpful for me, even though I kind of didn't want it to be. I was actually feeling a little bit um, I was feeling a little bit resentful at first. This is called ADHD for Smart Women. I don't want to get flagged, so you can see the title. But it's ADHD for Smart Women, and it's by Tracy Otsuka. She's a certified ADHD coach. There's a couple of entities out there that certify ADHD coaches, although you do not have to be certified to be an effective coach. But anyway, she has ADHD. She discovered it when her child was diagnosed with it. The more she learned about it, the more she discovered the symptoms in herself. And she decided to write a book addressing a bunch of different things that women go through having ADHD. And I really, really think if I go through the sections, you'll see that there's a lot of info here that could be helpful for you. Understanding you and your ADHD brain is part one. Um, Enhancing your ADHD brain with smart ass solutions. Again, I don't want to get flagged, but that's part two. And oh, well, there's only two parts. That's good. But she goes through talking about what ADHD really is, and what ADHD really is an executive dysfunction disorder, and it affects time management, planning, organization, emotional regulation, your relationship with time, your relationship with authority and arbitrary rules, your relationship with how you're interested in things or not. It's a really interesting book. And what I want to do is basically just talk about how it helped me. I didn't read the book from front to back. I don't think it was meant for that. Clearly, if she wrote the book for people with ADHD attention spans, this is more like a reference book, but it is something that I think I'd want to add to my library when I finally get settled and can settle on where I'm going to be. But she goes through what ADHD really is, why women struggle to get diagnosed and what to do about it, why ADHD women face more issues, and turning ADHD traits into superpowers. That is not something that she came up with, I don't think. I think a lot of people talk about ADHD being a superpower, but maybe she did coin the term in a relationship. I'm not sure. How to find yourself, your passions, and your purpose. Um, Big emotions, trauma, and how to better manage both is in the Enhancing Your ADHD Brain with Smart Solutions. Ways to end overthinking, overwhelm, and self doubt. I talk hugely about this on my channel. Hugely. Like, I address this a lot. Your ADHD specific strategies to better manage your relationships, ADHD specific strategies to better manage time and planning, ADHD specific strategies to better manage money, how physical movement can treat ADHD, using nutrition to curb ADHD symptoms, overhauling ADHD related sleep problems, and dealing with learning differences. There's a couple of different learning differences. There's a couple of different learning differences that come, and they're not necessarily ADHD, like dyslexia, dyscalculia. Oh, Lord. Somebody's walking through, so the dog may go crazy. And if that's the case, sorry. But you can learn a lot from this book. The couple of takeaways that I found super, super helpful was in the money section, where she said instead of impulsive spending, impulsively save. And she used the Acorns app as an example of how every time you spend, your loose change is going to go into an investment account. I might actually sign up for that again. It's been a while. I do have Stash where I put $10 in, every period of time. And I am automating my investments But after automating your bill pay, after automating your savings, she says that you can impulsively save. So I really like that. I think on another note, digging into the reasons why you impulsively spend, and in my case, to accumulate things that turn into clutter, which later on actually do help to overwhelm you and don't help an ADHD brain at all. That's another thing to really explore. Um, Another thing that I really like is where she's talked about using nutrition to curb ADHD symptoms. I love that she focused on the two supplements you really need to hone in on um, in order to really address ADHD symptoms. The biggest ones are going to be probiotics and omegas. And although vitamin D is absolutely crucial for mood and immune support, although magnesium is absolutely crucial for your nervous system, I like that she focused on two instead of overwhelming overwhelming us with all these different supplements that you need to take. I have noticed that whenever it comes to ADHD advice and nutrition, they will always give you so many supplements that you need to take, and it becomes overwhelming. It's like, dude, I'm already overwhelmed. Just tell me, give me a place where I can start. Tell me what is the most important thing, because prioritization is an issue with ADHD. Now, one thing I want to talk about with ADHD is that not all of the areas of your executive dysfunction are going to be addressed or show up in the same way. You could have one or all of those issues that I talked about, but um, yeah, prioritization is a huge issue for me. Sometimes I don't know where to start when I'm given a bunch of different things to do, which is why when it comes to employment, I have learned to really stick with where I'm doing one or just a few related types of things at a time, and I'm not responsible for monitoring the progress of something. In my current job, I get pinged whenever something needs to happen. I mean, there's an initial kind of place that I need to look, and there's really only one to two places where I need to look for what my tasks are going to be. That works so much better for my brain than long drawn out processes that have 7 or 8 or 9 different places to look and several people to get back to and all of that good stuff. It's something to keep in mind when you're looking at employment. So I just wanted to flag this book because I feel like if you can get it from your library, which I did, you're going to benefit. It doesn't matter, you don't have to be a woman, but it definitely will benefit women. And look through the strategies. Nobody's saying you got to read it from front to back, but go through, skim through, and whatever catches your attention, I would say just read a little bit into it. She even mentions ChatGPT in here, which I did not know that. This is gonna better manage time and planning, and I'm a witness to that. ChatGPT helps me with a lot of my decision making. Decision making takes a while for me because I get overwhelmed in the details, and I'm able to think about the million possible good and bad for each outcome. So it's like, well, how am I gonna just make a decision, because they both seem like they could be good. But what I like about ChatGPT is that it helps me remember, it helps me sort out all of my ideas, and it helps me remember, okay, this is, this pattern, that pattern. Can take many, many years to discover your patterns and why a decision might be good or bad for you. So take advantage of books like this. Take advantage of your library or library apps. You don't even have to go get the book. It will automatically be returned. That's one less thing you have to worry about as somebody with ADHD, because memory can suck sometimes. So you don't have to worry about overdue fees if you check this out online. You don't have to spend money. Just try to get it from the library for free, and keep adding to your body of knowledge about your brain, because you're kind of stuck with it, your entire life. And it would be helpful to know how to best work with it, how to best overcome the challenges that come up, and what other things may be going on with you. Maybe it's not ADHD, maybe it could be something else completely, but this might be able to help you self diagnose, rule it out, and better manage. One last thing. She talks about what is a good reason to get an ADHD coach. And I love this because as someone who does that type of work, here's the tips that she says. Look for a coach who makes you feel good. It's all about positive emotion, and I call it vibes, and whom you're excited to work with. Don't pick somebody who's a drag to work with. I don't care what credentials they say they have. If you live in a small community with few ADHD coaches, consider working with a virtual ADHD coach so that you have access to a wider range of individuals and are able to find the right fit for you. Well, I'm going to be doing coaching virtually. So that definitely is good advice. Work with a coach who has ADHD because this can offer invaluable lived experience. That's what my whole premise is set on. It's important to make sure that you don't share the same weaknesses, though. Remember, I said that ADHD doesn't show up in the same way in everybody to the same degree. So if you're disorganized, working with a coach who's also disorganized will not serve you. I'll say this: people with ADHD can be very organized, and maybe they just have issues with some of the other issues, and maybe they're very organized in a certain area of their life that they're interested in. But of course, that may not span through all areas of life. Consider what matters most to you. If humor is really important to you, but your coach is humorless, you probably won't get that much progress. So, those are some tips that she uses about how to find a great ADHD coach. I agree with those. And yeah, I had a resource for making decisions, making difficult decisions, and I'm going to be sharing it soon. I'm still working on it, but I think that's a great, like, free little resource that you can use, and it might help you walk through the next time that you need to make a really difficult decision. But it's the kind of stuff that I like to help people with. What is your next best step in this situation? How to better look at yourself in this situation? How is ADHD showing up in your life? And how to possibly address it, and how to make a next big decision, how to choose. Of course, I'll never tell you what the answer is because that's up to you, but sometimes it is helpful to have someone, to have a verbal processing partner, because that's something that's really important for people like us. So thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful for you, and keep dreaming happy dreams, because what else is there? Why not? Take care.